Welcome to Light the Path, the podcast that brings you inspiring stories of courage, strength, and faith. Listen in as we explore how God's love and grace can inspire and motivate us to overcome life's challenges and light the path forward.
Hello, Pathfinders. It's your girl, Queen here. Thank you so much for joining in for another episode of Light the Path podcast. I don't say this about every single episode, but you're going to enjoy this episode because you know what? I'm not a gatekeeper, okay? And I didn't want to share this with y'all, but we here, okay? We here today. I did not want to share this with y'all, but it helped me so much. I was inclined to share. And what I'm sharing with you today, who I am sharing with you today, this is a jewel. This is a treasure. I'm telling you, this is a gem. Okay. Anna Jae Fit. I would say she my coach. Okay. She my personal trainer. Okay. I am sharing her with y'all today only a little bit because, you know, y'all got to invest in yourself like Queen did. Okay. Let me calm down. Help me welcome Anna Jae Fit to Light the Path podcast.
Yes. Ooh, I'm so excited. I am so glad that you're done hiding me. Thank you.
Now, when we first started, I did make a post. Let me see if I can pull this post up real quick. I wasn't planning on pulling this up. Let me see. When I first got with Anna, I did a post. But it was very quiet post. You know, it was just like, you know, this is what's going on. Okay. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Did I post too much? Hold up. Oh, maybe I do post too much. Hold on.
You just
So I did a quiet post. I mean, I say it's quiet post, but it was loud. It was loud in my mind because I'm like, this is something that I've been wanting to do. I had it on my list of things to do. But then finally, I'm like, boom, I am doing it. I am making this happen to get a coach. And that was one of the things that I had on my 2024 list was to get a coach, to get a trainer. And so I'm like, who can I get? And so I was inspired by LaToya Bilbo. I have to give a shout out to her, my lock sister, my sister in Christ, that she was on with you already. Right. And I was seeing her results and I sort of knew her story, but I didn't know you. And so I'm like, well, LaToya getting results. And I have been sort of like my daughter says, I've never been quote unquote fat. However, I wanted to achieve a certain goal. And I felt like I brought myself to a certain point. So I'm like, I need a professional. Thus came in and okay, I'm a baddie. Ain't no cover-ups this season, okay?
No cover-ups. We're done with that.
Peach is out. Peach is popping.
That's right. Yes.
But look, I know your story, Anna, and I'm sharing sort of my story as we go along with this. But let everybody know, how did you even enter the fitness arena in the first place?
Yes. All right. So for me, my journey started specifically with my own struggle with weight loss. So when I got pregnant with my first child, she is now 15. I gained 65 pounds with her. And so prior to having her, I wasn't skinny, but I was happy in my skin. I was comfortable in my body. And I believe that I kind of took that for granted. And I know that a lot of moms can relate to that. Like, you just don't know until it happens to you. And then you're like, oh my goodness. So I gained those 65 pounds with her, and I was pretty naive and living in fantasy world, thinking that as soon as I would have her, that I would just snap right back into my pre-baby body. And instead, what happened was I went into postpartum depression, first of all. So mentally and emotionally, I was in a really, really bad place. On top of that, now I'm a new mom. I'm getting accustomed to motherhood. I didn't have much support, and I didn't have anyone in my friend circle. Out of my friend circle, I was the first one to become a mother. So that made it so much harder too. And so I remember vividly like looking at this body and not recognizing myself at all. Like the rolls everywhere, the stretch marks, the loose skin, saggy skin, the breast hanging. I mean, just everything. I was like, what happened? And being so torn between, I absolutely hate this body. I know it's a strong word, but that's how I felt. I'm so disgusted with myself. I can't stand to look at myself in the mirror anymore. And then at the same time, you know, trying to stay in the energy of just being grateful that I had a healthy pregnancy, that I brought life into the world. I have my daughter now, right? And just the blessing of becoming a mother. And so I was really torn between that guilt all the time, a lot. And so that put me on this path of, for me, it was a traumatic weight loss journey for sure. And the desperation is what led me to all the toxic shortcuts, the fat diets, the crash diets. I mean, any diet you can think of, I tried it. I tried starving myself. I tried fasting. I mean, I remember vividly going to bed hungry and just convincing myself that the less I would eat, the more I would lose weight, right? I did cleanses. I mean, laxatives even, right? I tried everything. And then kind of the concept for most of us women, I sunk into, you know, the more cardio I'm going to do, I need to just abuse my body with cardio all the time. And I remember doing all kinds of crazy workouts in my living room, but I really did not have a blueprint. I didn't have any idea. I was clueless. I was misinformed. And I really did not have a real starting point, right? I was just trying out of desperation, whatever it is that I could try. And so I went on this journey just like that, operating that way for several years. And in the midst of all of this, by the way, my postpartum depression was never diagnosed. I never got the help that I needed. I never talked to anybody. I didn't know the signs. I was poorly educated when it came to that. No one talked to me about those things. And at the same time, I was trying to make it through undergrad and college as well. So there's that. So a lot of different elements. And eventually, a couple years in, this internal dialogue got worse and worse and more negative as time went by. So it was like, you just look like a fat whale. This is disgusting. This is embarrassing. I was hiding under oversized hoodies and shirts and yoga pants. I stopped putting on real clothes. Putting on a dress was out of the question. Heels, forget it. Anything that was me before I was just done with it, right? And so eventually, years into that, my body completely crumbled, and so did my mind, my emotional health. All of it just took a complete toll. And it started off with what turned out to be a major panic attack. Didn't recognize it, didn't know anything about it. And from that panic attack, I ended up bedridden for the next 9 months. So I was sleeping an average of 16 hours, but no matter how much I slept, I just wanted to sleep more. I stopped getting out of bed. I didn't want to take showers, stop makeup, hair, nothing. I didn't care about looking cute. I lost my job. I stopped leaving. I stopped going out the house. I had just massive panic attacks just at the thought of going back into the world. And in my darkest hour, I became suicidal because I went back and forth to the emergency room. I went back and forth to doctors, and no one had any answers. No one was diagnosing me. What I kept hearing was, well, you're healthy, you're young, we're not seeing anything. And so the desperation and these negative thoughts, like worst case scenarios, what if I never get back to being me again? What if I can never regain the energy to just get out of bed and live my life? And so all of those worries, those concerns just made everything worse for me internally. And I started to become hopeless. I started to think, well, maybe at that time, at least, maybe my husband and my daughter, they'll be better off without me because I just can't do it. I'm not contributing. I can't raise my daughter. I'm not even being an active wife. I can't work. I can't bring in no money. What's my purpose? But at the same time, I couldn't fight the symptoms, and it really just kept me bedridden. So eventually I was diagnosed with clinical depression, and just a severe episode of clinical depression and severe generalized anxiety. And I started taking medications because I started taking psych meds because at that particular point, I made a promise to God. It very much reconnected me to my faith and my relationship with God. But I made a promise to God that if you just pull me out of this, if you just allow me to feel semi-normal again, I promise you, I'm choosing life. I will do everything that I have to do, but I'm choosing life. And whatever lesson you have for me out of this, whatever mission, I'm supposed to be on coming out of this, whatever testimonial this is supposed to be, I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. I will embrace it, acknowledge whatever you need me to do to give back to the world. I will do it in a heartbeat. But just pull me back out of this so I can live for my daughter. That's basically what it got to. So I recognized then the doctors, medications, every piece of the puzzle. I was like, I'm taking it all in. Every piece. Give me every piece. And I know in our community, especially, we're very much antidepressants, anti-anxiety, psych drugs. We're like, no, just pray about it, seek Jesus, etc. And you know what? I saw it more so as God led me to these doctors. God is giving me the opportunity to help myself utilizing medication as one piece of the puzzle. And so I embraced it fully. And when I tell you, I am so grateful that I took those medications, because within the first 3 weeks, I started to regain an appetite. I started to regain some kind of energy. My outlook started to become a little bit more normal. It was a long journey to full recovery. But without the medications, I'm really not sure where I would be today, or if I would even be here today, to be honest, right? So then I started doing a whole lot of research. I was on this journey of self-development and this recovery. It was all about my recovery and my healing. And so I started to order a lot of self-help books online about the depression cure, anything related to depression, because I didn't have the knowledge and I wanted to understand what was going on with me in order to better heal. And the common denominator in all of those books and all the research, all the journals, all the videos I watched was what? Move your body. And even though I was dizzy and lightheaded every single day for years going through this, and I was weak and fatigued and all of that, I understood the assignment. I have to find a way to move my body. So for me, it started off with baby steps, and paired with, I've got to change my internal dialogue. My internal dialogue from this day forward is speak life into yourself, speak life into your body every step of the way. Whatever you do, applaud yourself, pat yourself on the back every step of the way. No matter how tiny of a baby step you take, it's still better than when you were laying in a bed wishing that you were dead, right? And so it literally started with just do 5 squats, get back in the bed. It progressed over time. Go outside, just take a tiny little walk. And I hadn't been out into the world for months. And then come back in the house, pat yourself on the back, round of applause. Say, yes, you did it, girl. I was just talking to myself all the time out loud. You did it, girl. You did it. And eventually I said, okay, I'm going to take the next step. I'm going to drive all the way to the gym that I still had a gym membership to. And I'm just going to get acquainted with the parking lot. And then I'm going to drive back home. I did that. I was like, whoa, girl, you did it. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling alive. Then I was like, okay, tomorrow we're going to take it a step further. We're going to drive to the gym. We're going to walk in the gym, walk back out, go back home. And that's what I did. I was like, yes, girl, you did it. And keep on going. And eventually I ended up on the treadmill. And I said, okay, I'm just going to walk 5 minutes. Breathe, because I'm still anxiety ridden. I'm still dizzy and lightheaded. Like I still have these panic moments, but I'm talking myself through it. Walk on this treadmill. No pressure, girl. You got this. Go home. And eventually I kept doing this, stayed longer. And then I was like, okay, I need to do something different. I want to challenge myself a little bit different, a little bit more. What else can I do? And I had a love for group fitness classes that stemmed from many years prior when my husband at the time was deployed. It helped me stay grounded while he was gone. And kind of it was a coping mechanism, but then also being in that social environment. So I feel like I probably need some form of socialization again in order to really find myself again. I need to get back into a class. But being that I had been so out of shape, not fit, in the bed, lost all my muscle mass, hadn't really eaten properly and stuff like that, I couldn't go to a body pump class, a boot camp class that wasn't feasible. So I looked on the schedule and I thought, Zumba is probably the thing that's going to be the least demanding or challenging of this poor little weak body of mine. So let me try a Zumba class. So I went to this lady Zumba class and I was in the back row, like literally hiding as far back as possible. I'm still like very much anxious of people, haven't been around people, but I'm like, you got this, just 5-10 minutes, no pressure, then you leave, etc. And that's what I did. 5-10 minutes. And over time, she just lit a fire in me with her music and her dance moves and stuff like that. I downloaded her playlist. I would do those songs at home when I would feel depressed or when I feel like I need that little rush, that little kick of endorphins to keep myself going. And eventually over time, I made it from those 5-10 minutes all the way through lasting through an entire class. And I went from the very back row to the very front row. And one day she was late for class and somebody stopped me and said, "Are you our sub today? Are you teaching?" And I said, "What? I must look like somebody else because what makes you think that I would be teaching this class?" Like I was so baffled. Where's this coming from? And then several other people that were standing with her were like, "Yeah, because you got all the moves, you know, all her stuff. So we thought that you were a Zumba instructor." And I'm like, "No." And it's interesting because God was planting those seeds. He was utilizing people to start planting those seeds in my head, because I would have never contemplated going into fitness. It was never on my trajectory. I didn't care nothing about personal training. I didn't care about teaching no Zumba class. That was not my thing in life. I was all about like homeland security, emergency management, protecting the United States. That was my thing. Yeah, totally not the path, right?
Yeah, that's two different paths. I mean, and I love what you're saying here, because it's beautiful that you're saying this. The Black and brown community, I'm going to say that for us, that the mental health piece, like that's a very good piece, and that you acknowledge, like, I'm going to use this and I'm going to use this. I'm going to pray, yes, but I'm also going to be thankful for the doctors, physicians, psychiatrists, whatever that look like, to bring that all together. And then now you find yourself out of bed, and now people asking you, "Are you the sub?"
Right. Yes. It's such a beautiful story.
Keep telling us what's next then. Ooh wee.
So I became friends with another lady who, interestingly enough, was also battling depression and was going through marital problems. So we were very much finding ourselves at the right time in the right place in the same situation. So we could have each other's backs through those difficult times. And she was dreaming about becoming a Zumba instructor, but it wasn't my dream. So I kept telling her, "I don't understand why you want to become a Zumba instructor. Like, what? Why?" And she was too scared to go to Atlanta and go through the certification program and stuff like that. She didn't feel confident enough to do it. So she kept asking me, "Anna, will you please go with me? Please, we go together." She was like, "I will pay for your certification. You don't have to teach. I don't care, but let's just go together." So eventually I was like, let me be a good friend, because I could tell she was so passionate. So we went to Atlanta. We got certified together. A week later, one of the gyms in my area called me and said, "Hey, we're looking for a Zumba instructor for a class Monday and Friday, 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 a.m. And someone provided your information and said that you were recently certified. We'd love for you to come in and do an audition." And I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" I was like, "Wait a second. I said I'll go and get it. I'll get certified to help her. But I said I'm not teaching Zumba. I was firm. I'm not teaching Zumba." So then I had a little moment of, oh yeah, God, that is true. I did say that if you brought me back to life, that whatever you had in store for me, I will just have to suck it up and move and do it.
Oh, yeah. How many times? I mean, I got to stop you right there. How many times, and I'm asking you Pathfinders, how many times have you made this promise to God and he let us off on the hook? Like, you know, I'm going to let you go ahead and slide with it. But he didn't let you off the hook, Anna. No. He had somebody calling you. Yeah. I love this story. Go ahead.
It turns out that my friend, the one I got certified with, she's the one that provided them with my contact information. Oh yeah, God works in mysterious ways, I'm telling you. So I was like, okay, there is I literally told myself, I was like, that's all God. And I cannot say no to this, because that would be a slap in the face. Like, I've asked to be here, and I made a promise, I made a commitment. So if this is the path that I'm supposed to take, I'm going to take this path with a smile. So I went to the audition, so nervous. I literally put like 2 songs together the day before, something like that. She gave me no time. 30 seconds into my first song, she said, up, turn the music off. I was like, oh my gosh, was I that terrible? I turned the music off, and she's like, okay, you start next week. That's it. I've seen enough. And I'm like, lady, ma'am, no, I'm not. No, you can't be serious. And she's like, yes, absolutely. You were made for this. Let's go. So I started teaching that Zumba class on a Monday and a Friday at 6:30 in the morning, which is wild, because if you asked me to do that now, I wouldn't do it. That's insane. And my class grew. But what nobody knew was that I still was fighting those demons. I showed up every Monday and every Friday at 6:30 in the morning, lightheaded, dizzy, anxiety ridden. I would have to take my anxiety meds in the car in the parking lot before I walked in, but nobody knew. I showed up with a smile. I showed up with the energy, and every single class I went to, I was like, I just hope that this is touching somebody the way that girl's class touched me and brought me back to life. So every time that I taught Zumba, that was at the forefront for me. I am now in my 11th year of teaching Zumba. And to this day, every time I go teach a Zumba class, I smile from ear to ear. And it's just natural. It's organic. There's nothing fake about it. I'm not there to perform. It just feels like that because it always makes me feel so alive and reconnects me to a time where I literally thought that suicide was my only escape. And I'm always cognizant of that. I know that people are coming to my class and they're depressed. I know people are coming here and they don't know how they're going to pay their next bill. I know people are coming here and got dropped off because their car broke down. People are going through so much stuff, but when they come to my class, they're going to have a moment of peace. They're going to have a moment of joy. They're going to leave here with a smile on their faces and their endorphins boosted, and it's going to give them hope. That's literally why I teach Zumba. That's how I got into the fitness industry in the fitness space. And things grew over time as I was teaching Zumba because women would be drawn to me and always ask me, how do I lose weight? How do I do this? Can you help me with that? But within that scope of practice, or it was outside of my scope of practice because I'm just a Zumba instructor. So I understood then, if people are so drawn to me and my energy, there must be a reason for that. And I need to find another way to be able to help those women and answer those questions. But I don't have the expertise. I don't have the title that comes with it. So I need to do something about that. And so I went back to school. I went ahead and became a nutritionist and a certified personal trainer. And then I added X amount of other formats under my belt. And then I started teaching all these different fitness formats in addition to Zumba, which then grew kind of my following and my audience. And then eventually I went into business full time when COVID hit, and I took my business online. So from in-person training and at the gyms, I took everything online. And I'm going into my 5th year strong, and I have clients internationally. I have clients everywhere. So yeah, that's been my journey. And that's my story of how I got into fitness, weight loss, coaching, all that good stuff.
You know, and I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad 2020 happened because I was a gym rat. I was doing the cardio, all the things that you talked about. And we've had this. And what I really love about you and how you have helped me, but you're helping so many other women. Like, it's not cookie cutter. This is what was right for me. I mean, you took the time to do the intake with me. Like, you had the questions. I mean, you asked me some hard questions. One of them was, I thought about this morning. One of the hard questions that you asked me, because I was like, oh yeah, I do intermittent. I was saying this like I was real smart too. I was like, yeah, I do intermittent fasting. I don't really eat breakfast. And you were like, okay, are you willing to put that down for the next 90 days? Are you willing to eat? I'm like, say what? Like, this is working. Like, I'm fine the way I am. I'm just trying to get finer. And so I just really appreciate that because I see myself getting results. I see some of my other sister friends getting results, and we're all different, right? And even the people that are in the group. So who do you say your ideal client is? Because you help so many women.
Yes, absolutely. So for me, my ideal clients are definitely moms, and specifically busy, overwhelmed career moms. So, and the reason for that is, to me, that is the demographic that I can relate to the most from a personal standpoint, because I am a mom of 2 and I'm running a business full time. And so the reality is that, you know, all of us are women, yes, but we can be at different stages of our lives. We have different responsibilities or things on our plate, but there's something that we have in common when we are mothers and when we're also working and career-oriented mothers. And it's the fact that we're overwhelmed and that we're pouring out from empty cups, and that we have schedules that don't allow for the madness that fitness influencers are promoting online. All right. So it's like, hey, be in the gym all day, every day for an hour, 2 hours. We don't have time for that. That's not realistic for us at all. Right. You need to meal prep and it needs to be looking like this. It needs to be real fancy. You see it all across TikTok and Instagram. Okay, that's nice and everything. Yeah, maybe one day when I'm retired and I don't have to take care of all these folks in my household and I'm no longer working, maybe, but that's not realistic for the types of lives that we're living. And so that is my target demographic for sure. And then obviously all women of color. Because from a cultural standpoint, we have obstacles and hurdles in our way that, for example, Caucasian American women can't relate to, right? So most of my clients, I'd say about 90% of my clients for this last decade have been African American women who are mothers and who have careers, and sometimes multiple careers and businesses on the side and going back to college. So typical, because we do it all. And then the other 10% have primarily been Latina women. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just so thankful. I mean, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, where y'all can connect with Anna, because I know y'all already want to know how you connect. Well, we're going to get y'all that in just a second. Okay. But it's beautiful. The community. I mean, I think, I didn't know how it was going to be, but I trusted you, because I'm like, you know what? She knows what she's talking about. I've seen other people's results. Surely I can do this. And I did not think that I was going to get the results so fast and so like pronounced from home workouts. I was just like,
yeah,
show me. In my brain, I'm just like, okay, show me. You don't want me intermittent fasting. You made me break up with my Dole orange juice, my banana pineapple orange juice. You made me break up with him. And I'm like, ugh, but I'm going to do it. I'm that kind of person. I'm like, but I'm going to do it. So I'm doing it. And so the first time when I took the first pictures, I had to take the first set of pictures to start off. And at first I was like, I'm not too bad. Again, I'm just trying to get finer. But then when I really saw the pictures, I was like, I'm about to share these pictures with a stranger.
Yeah.
I mean, and these aren't news. Okay. These are just sports bra and short shorts on to show the body type, because again, she is online, it's virtual. You do the home workouts in your home. And so I was like, how is she going to put all these pieces together? I didn't know. But after the first 30 days, I'm like messaging you like, look, I'm ready to take my pictures now. Now I'm like doing all the poses. And so what do you tell people? Like, can you give us 3 tips that you would give someone that is on the weight loss journey?
Yes, absolutely. Number one, the first tip I would have is definitely acknowledge where you are as far as your mindset is concerned, and do not ignore the mindset. I know that this is not the cute little, weight loss advice that we're so often looking for, but I have a deeper approach to weight loss, because I believe that is the approach that's going to not only give you the results that you want and improve your quality of life, but that is the sole element that's going to keep you where you want to be, right, for the rest of your life. Because there's no sense in doing something for 21 days. There's no sense in doing something for 6 months if it's just going to bring you back to square one. And the one element that's going to keep you, or that's going to help you maintain the results that you get, is the mindset. But this journey is a hard one. It's an up and down one. It's one filled with temptation. It's one filled with negative self-doubt, limiting beliefs. Then there's our environment, our entourage that comes in the picture, and it's like, you're getting too skinny. Well, you keep going to the gym. Why you working out all the time? Oh no, but I like you big. Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's all kinds of crap that we got to hear left and right, right? Like, I go to family functions, like, oh, y'all know how Anna is. She don't eat nothing. Like, yeah. So, but if your mindset, if you are not working on your mindset, you are going to feed into the negativity. You are going to convince yourself that you're not capable of doing this. It's only a matter of time until you're going to quit your workouts because you don't believe that you're capable. So the number one thing is speak life into yourself, speak life into your body every step of the way, and be really clear with yourself. Why is this important to you? Why is this a non-negotiable? Why does it matter? And no, I don't care that your husband thinks that you're cute at your size. Why do you want to lose that weight? Get real clear on that. And then put your blinders on, cut out the noise and everything else. And it's tunnel vision. But in your mind, it has to be so crystal clear. I'm getting to my goal because of XYZ reason. I love all of y'all. Y'all mean well, but I do not care. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm headed. That's how it needs to be mindset wise. That's number one.
Wait, I got to stop you right there, because I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting I'm telling y'all, and I'm keeping it 100. I'm keeping it a buck. I was not expecting mindset work. I was not expecting that. I was just expecting, okay, here are my workouts. This is your nutrition. You're going through my nutrition plan. You are saying, eat this, not that. Here's a, macro. I was thinking all of that. I was not ready for a mind shift change, because I was thinking my mindset's right. I'm here, right? I've made a commitment. I'm signed up, so I'm going to do it. But it is so key. Yeah. It's so key. It's such a major key that I almost want to say it trumps all of the other things, because if it's not right, it ain't gonna work. I'm thinking in my head, okay, smoothies, cardio. Anna, if y'all get in her group, when y'all get in her group, I'm gonna say when y'all get in her group, she gonna hear us talk about the cardio queen. And this ain't no good. This ain't no, like me. I'm like, oh, I'm queen. I'm cardio.
Right.
Cardio queen, sit down, get you some weights, get you some in your life, get you some protein, eat you some, you know what I mean? So I was not expecting all that you did as far as mindset growth and how to shift your mentality, because I was thinking that I was thinking right when really I totally wasn't. All these things that you just said do come into play. It's like you have to have that piece. And so I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I was like, how do I tell people this? Because it's so important. If your mind is not made up, then it don't matter if you're counting, running, all the things, it's still, you're going to get a negative thing. So I'm glad that was the number one thing. Go on now. I just had to break into that, because I was just like, it was just like the emoji, mine below.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm glad that you stopped me there, so we can put emphasis on that, because it is the most neglected piece. It's the most neglected piece there is on this journey. And I always tell people, I'm like, I know this is not what you expected, or I know this ain't the cute part, because you want to talk about eating salads every single day. Yeah, that's fine and everything, but that ain't, not to mention that that's not even a lifestyle. But people really want, like, people expect you, hey, okay, so you just run 5 miles and you eat salads every day and you're going to be just fine. Yeah, that's great. But here's the thing, is that if you're bashing yourself every step of the way, if you're calling yourself a fat hog every 2 seconds that you get on the treadmill, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your ability to maintain this, right? If you don't believe deep down that you deserve to live in the body of your dreams, if you're entertaining all kinds of toxic habits, patterns, and people in your environment, this is not going to last. The next time you get stressed out, the next time you go through depression, the next time you have a breakup, the next time your loved one passes away, all that weight is going to come right back, because your mindset hasn't been worked on. Your mindset hasn't been elevated. So you cannot maintain those weight loss results, and you are not going to get to where you want to go. And so that's why it's so important. Second piece of advice, definitely for the people on their weight loss journey right now, is get off the diet roller coaster as soon as possible. Ditch the diet roller coaster, because it is a roller coaster. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go back up and back down, and it's going to take you turns and all that other crap. There is no other way around it. And so the sooner you accept that, hey, dieting is not the way to go for sustainable and permanent weight loss results, the better you're going to be off. And instead, what I always would recommend along with that piece is to look at, hey, let me look at my lifestyle. Let me look at the things I'm putting into my body. What am I drinking in terms of calories or sugar, whatever? What am I eating? What am I snacking on? And then start to evaluate and think, what are the things that I'm missing? Because the principle and the foundation of a diet is, what can I take away? How can I restrict myself? How can I make my life worse, right? That's basically what it is. Instead, how about we start looking at, oh, well, maybe my carb and my fat intake is fine, but I'm barely eating any protein. Okay, well then don't worry about your carbs and your fat, but look at how much protein you can be adding into your diet, right? Another one is, oh, well, maybe you are eating plenty carbs and fat and protein, but your diet is really low in fiber. You're fiber deficient. So you're only eating the white bread, the white pasta, the bagels and whatever else. Oh, well, maybe it's time for you to incorporate more green leafy vegetables so you can get your fiber in. Maybe you need to lay off the bananas for a while and eat more raspberries and strawberries. Maybe you need more avocado in your diet. Great source of fiber. That's my favorite one. I eat an avocado a day. So, right. And so we're hyper focused on, how can I restrict myself? How can I feel like a prisoner of this next diet? And instead it's no, eliminates that pattern, eliminate the diet roller coaster, ditch it, and instead look at your plates. What's missing on your plate? Let's start to add the right things that are going to help you out on your weight loss journey. I think that's a different way of looking at it, but it's a sustainable way to look at it.
Man, come on. When I'm saying, you saying a whole word here, because this is one of the things that I like about the group too. Everybody's saying we eating good over here. Like, we are eating good. And one thing that you taught me, which I knew this, right? But I didn't hear it clearly before. There's no good and bad foods.
Yeah.
It's just food. Food is fuel. That's it. And I'm like,
yeah.
Wait, what? So this little buntlet, I could eat some of it and move on with my day. I don't have to start bashing myself saying, oh, I'm cheating. I got a cheat meal. No, all my meals are good meals. We're eating good over here. And so that really helped me so much to stop looking at food and stop looking at myself like, oh, I'm cheating today. I'm doing it. No, like, wait, what? And so the fact that you're talking about adding, that was so significant for me, because you're like, okay, I see what you're eating, but are you eating? And Anna, and this is so y'all get prepared. Like, she being calm and cool, collective right now, but she's gonna give it to you raw, real, and unfiltered. Okay. She said, "What?" She didn't say what you eating. She was like, "What the F is this? Like, are you eating? Are you not eating?" I mean, add it to the plate, because we don't think about. We think about take away the carbs, take away what's satisfied, take away what, whatever your thing is.
Yeah.
This morning I had a piece of avocado toast.
Yep.
Anyway, go on. See, this, I'm telling y'all, this is not gatekeeping. This is letting y'all in.
Yes.
And at the end, we're going to tell y'all how to connect so that way you can get in too. But tell us the final tip, because, oh gosh, so many good points. And I mean, we're only giving y'all 3 today right now, but go on with the final.
Yes. It's crazy because I want to give so many tips, so I had to narrow it down. I'm like, my head is like, I want to say so much, but I think for tip number 3, I would say invest in yourself. All right, invest in yourself. And the reason why I'm saying that is not because I want somebody to hire me, because honestly, honest to God, invest in yourself and hire somebody else if you want to. I'm not here for that, but I'm here to be transparent and real. But what I've never really understood over time is this sense of, well, I can figure it out. I can figure it out on my own. I can figure it out myself. Here's the reality. If your car starts to do weird stuff, you don't go on YouTube and spend the next 3, 4, 5 months trying to figure out, why is my car making those weird sounds? Let me go experiment it with it. Let me go replace this part. Maybe it's this part. Then it turns out that's not the part. Now you got a bigger problem. Let me switch this part out as well. Hey, no, none of us would ever do that. We so clearly see that when it comes to our vehicle doing something that it shouldn't be doing, we don't have the expertise. We don't have the knowledge. I ain't the mechanic. I didn't go to mechanic school, but I'm going to go find myself a trustworthy mechanic who can look at this vehicle and tell me in just a little bit of time what's wrong with it, exactly how to fix it, and how much it's going to cost me. And so the point I want to hone in on here is, if you've been doing this for a while, it's time to stop experimenting with yourself, right? And there is no judgment in this. It doesn't make you less than. It doesn't say something. It doesn't tell us anything bad about you. I don't know. I think there's some of those ideas that come along with it. It's like, well, I should be able to figure it out because I have a master's, I'm a CEO, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm this, I'm that. That's wonderful, but you are not a weight loss expert. That's the reality. Like, when I get sick, I don't try to experiment with my body. I go to the doctor, let the doctor figure it out, because the doctor knows what the doctor is doing. And so I think that a lot of us need to really recognize this. Life is too short. Life is too short for you to continue to live miserable in your own skin, in your own body. Life is too short for you to go on the next cruise and the next vacation being covered up on the long sleeve cover-ups because you don't feel comfortable enough to take family pictures. You don't feel comfortable enough to show whatever, the flabby skin or whatever it is that's bothering you, right? And Yeah, I think that it's bringing that point back to the forefront. If you're not the expert, then you go get an expert and you invest in yourself. The same way that you would go buy an iPhone 15, even though your iPhone 13 is working just fine. I'm just saying.
Hello.
Spending $11 at Starbucks every morning. That's not an investment in yourself. You don't get nothing out of the $11 that you leave at Starbucks every day. But when you start to invest in your body, that's an asset that appreciates over time. Invest in the only asset that appreciates for real. All right. So that's my advice.
Oh, so good. I'm so glad that was the final point, because when I initially was going to sign up with you, I started having car problems. Car problems be getting a little costly, okay? And I'm like, well, I got this money over here that I'm ready to give Anna. And so then you try to work with me. You're like, okay, you got, this much time to get in the dough. The next thing is start happening here. And I'm like, okay. But my car really got towed up. Anyway, to fast forward the whole story, this whole investment in yourself is very major. So what I decided, I said, okay, I'm going to go through my bank account and add up how much food I'm eating out. I said that much. No, for real. Because I like to eat out. And because I have adult children, and my grandkids are near, but I have adult children. So I don't have to, quote unquote, cook all the time. So I go out. I like fine dining. I like, I can be at the taco truck or I could be at Michelin star. So it don't matter. It's everything goes, right? Because I felt like that. I'm a single woman. So I'm like, I eat out. So I looked at that. I added it all up. Why was it enough to start paying Anna? I'm like, wait, what? Like, oh my gosh. I have the money, but I got to make a sacrifice. Is this really important to me? Yes, my health is important to me. And I got so many non-scale victories. Like I don't even have a scale here. And so 1, my face is clear. 2, my energy level. Like with my grandkids, I'm running, ripping, running. I run down my stairs. I live on the 3rd floor. Okay. What else? What other non-scale? The way my clothes fit. Okay. No cover-up season. Okay. For my birthday, I am going on a good trip and swimsuits are ready.
Yes.
So all the non-scale victories I have seen, my neck, hold up. Peach popping.
Oh yeah. That peach popping.
These are all non-scale victories, but also sleeping well. And so one of the things you talked about in one of the lives was about us sleeping in. And I'm like, oh, I like to sleep in because I feel like I only work Monday through Thursday. I'm like, I'm semi-retired. I got all this flex, right? And I'm like, you got onto us. You like wake up early. So in June, I said, I'm waking up every day at 5 o'clock. I'm going to do my devotion at 5 a.m. I'm going to do my workouts at 6. Then on the weekends, I'm not going to do that. While I'm still waking up early. It's after July. Waking up early. So these are all things that to me are priceless. There was a cost to it, but it has been priceless. I could not have done it by myself. And I'm an accountability coach. So I'm like, you holding me accountable, not only to my food, but to my mindset and also into investing in myself. We'll say, okay, I'm going to buy another pair of shoes or I'm going to help somebody else or whatever. But we got to be helping ourselves. And by doing that, investing in our health, investing in somebody else that is going to keep it real with us. You never sugarcoat it. You never said, well, if you do this, then you can do this. You like, no, stop doing that. You know what I mean? That is counterproductive. I mean, just keeping it real. And it has been just an amazing experience. This is my first time ever. I've said I wanted to coach maybe for like the last 3 years. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to go to some classes and, do all the things. But to really invest in myself really made 100% of the difference to not go back to the bad ways that I had thought were right. And so that investment piece, I know that's scary to some people, but I'm just here to encourage you that you can do it. You have the money. Look for it in your account. Look at your last account statement and say, what can you cut out? Do you have subscriptions? Because that's something you can have all these channels And
Yeah.
all you're doing is sitting there watching every single show that somebody posts that it was good. And I'm not knocking that. There's time for that. But I'm saying, could you sacrifice not watching a series, show, binge watch, and
Exactly.
get fit and fine and make your own show? Okay, I'm ready to make movies.
Right. I mean, seriously, because improving your quality of life, that means you get more out of that life you're going to be living as long as you're alive, here, and well. It also means less trips to the doctor. It also means less copays. It means less expenses as far as your prescriptions. I tell people all the time, you sign up with me, you end up saving money. You save money long term. You do. You do. And I mean, the phone's only going to last so long. The shoes are only going to last so long, etc. But that where you have to, your house even is only going to last so long, but your body is your body until the day that you're no longer here in physical form. So it's really nothing to play with, but it does take that mindset adjustment. And I have learned over time that sometimes people are unhappy and miserable, but they're not quite mentally to the point where they're so fed up that they're like, that's it. I'm done. I'm making the sacrifice. I'm doing what I got to do. And sometimes we have to get there, and it takes time too.
Yep. Absolutely. So what's next for Anna Jae Fit? What's next? What you have going on that the listeners, the Pathfinders, can't jump into?
Yes. All right. A lot of things. So fall is coming, so it's a whole new season, but I've got a brand new weight loss program that's coming out. It's called Empower Her. So Empower Her, HER. And so I'm really excited about that. And then the main focus in that program is empowering my clients mindset wise. So I'm very excited about that. I'm only going to be taking a handful of people because it's going to be very intensive and very much one-on-one. So I want to make sure that energy wise, I'm preserving my energy and can really show up as the best coach that I can for them. The other thing is that I'm gonna run a free 5-day challenge coming up right after Labor Day, so the very first week of September, because I really want to. Because that is the season where everyone realizes that they've been traveling, they've been drinking alcohol, they've been eating all kinds of foods, they've been on and off cruise ships, and now they're looking in the mirror and they're like, wait a second, they're stepping on the scale, the annual physicals are coming up, and people are about to get some bad news, right? So it's going to be the reality check come August and September. That is the season where everyone is like, oh my God, I got to get it together. So I'm going to be doing that free 5-day challenge that first week of September. And I'll be promoting that the entire month of August. So try and make sure I can get as many people signed up as possible, because that's going to be huge. It's going to be major, definitely. And then third, but certainly not least, but this has been on my mind for quite some time about writing a book. But I've actually just started putting the pen to paper and actually start putting my thoughts on paper. So yeah, there's that.
I'm super excited about all of this. Okay. I'm always excited about the challenges. And one of the challenges the group Anna presented a challenge. I mean, this is her business. So she like, this is the challenge we're going to have. We're not going to eat out for X amount of time. And this was a time where it was close to Mother's Day. And so all us moms were like, oh, it's Mother's Day. And this was supposed to be a week challenge. Right. And so it was like, and I was like, okay, y'all want Mother's Day, go out, eat, do your stuff, do it. We're going to do it for 2 weeks now. And so I can't even remember the initial name of the challenge, but then we started calling it You Got Food at Home.
Yeah, y'all call it the You Got Food at Home challenge. Yeah, everyone was complaining and whining. Oh, you can't do that because it's Mother's Day that weekend. I said, okay, I see how this is going. Everybody complaining, no problem. Have Mother's Day. Do what you got to do. Travel, eat out, do whatever you want to do. When you come back, instead of 7 days, we're doing 14. There you go.
Oh, it hurt, but it was beautiful. I mean, because after I thought about it, because I can tell you when I eat out, it could be 50 to 150. And so I'm like, appetizers, drinks. I don't drink wine, but just appetizer, drinks, dessert, all the things. And I'm like, okay. So then when I went to Walmart, got all my groceries and stuff, and it was like 150, 125. I was just like, I was like crying. I wanted to cry, but I'm like, girl, you do this on a night or something like that, or brunch.
Yeah. And people are just absolutely not realizing how much they're spending on eating out. Yeah.
Yes. So I took that challenge. We all took the challenge. So if you definitely are interested in getting a sample of what Anna has going on, the 5-day challenges, I will put all her links in the description so that way you can, one, connect with her, but then two, get in on the challenges because they are all fun. And her community, I mean, I just have to go out on a limb and say that it's been the best group experience that I've ever had. I mean, because I'm a part of several groups online, online communities. And I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying that there are so many things that I get just from your one group. And so it's like, man, like, what? I mean, it's inspiration, it's recipes, it's transparency. Like if somebody's having a tough time, or when they not having a tough time, and they're like, okay, I did this one thing, and it's this like, and then how everybody congratulates and celebrates you. Or even on the flip side, if you do need a bit of motivation or inspiration, it's not all on Anna. Like she has cultivated a community where we're all doing this together. We're all different levels, but we're all doing it together. And so it's like we're celebrating. It's the best online group that I am a part of, that I wasn't expecting that piece of it, because I was like, okay, another group to join.
Right.
Join. And I'm like, I don't got time to be online all the time. But then here I am, here's your lives. I'm like, okay, let me get my paper. I'm up early. I didn't finish my workout. I didn't got my meals ready. You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, what we about to do? And so it has been a total blessing to my life. And so that's why today I had to unlock the gates and let everybody know, how did I get this bad body that I'm going to be keeping, right? I'm going to be keeping it. And if I feel myself falling off, I'm going to make adjustments. Come on back full time. And so right now, what you see is what you get. Anna makes baddies. Okay. She builds baddies. I thought I was bad before, but now I'm just
extra
where
bad.
Where the mirrors, I'm like,
extra bad.
Is that me? Hey. So let everybody know where they can connect with you on social media, Anna.
Yes. So you can find me on Facebook, Anna Jae Fit. That's ANNA JAEFIT on Facebook. And then on Instagram, you can find me at Anna_Jae Fit. Same thing, JAEFIT. And then I also have a website that you can go check out. Beautiful website is www.annajfit.com. So you got a lot of different avenues. Also on TikTok, I forgot to mention. On TikTok, same thing, Anna Jae Fit. That's one thing about me is Anna Jae Fit across the board. Just Google me. There you go. Just Google Anna Jae Fit, and you'll find it all.
Well, thank you so much, Anna, for your time, your expertise. I look forward to all the challenges. Everybody, remember that sharing our experiences is not only empowering, but it can help light the path.